And my sister was saying, why don't you let him go to an outpatient? I'll tell you something. It was 4 months later. I was at the outpatient facility, and they had given me an AFO for my walking. And I turned the corner, and he was standing there. He was still sitting in a wheelchair, and his wife looked at me, and she was shocked. She said, "Look at you." I was walking by myself, and she said, and I said to her, because he went home and you had someone as an inpatient, someone to come to the house. He wasn't going to be an inpatient at Burke. He would be, at Helen Hayes, an outpatient. And you just bring him every day because you need the intense
That's right.
rehabilitation.
That's right.
And I was there a half hour before my appointment. I wanted to just be able to pick up a fork, be able to write, brush my teeth.
Yes.
Count. So rehab is key. And you're right. People of color, they want to go home. They think they could sit in the bedroom or sit in front of the television and not move around. You get worse.
Not only that, but there's something about the camaraderie that happens in a rehab center.
Yes, it does.
There is sort of like a competition kind of.
It's
like group therapy all day long. You know, it's an intensity that's necessary because we need that interaction. Not only that, but the people at home, as much as they are willing and as compassionate as they may be, they're not professional.
Right.
Okay. And when you have something like Beverly did, which is a hemorrhagic stroke, I'm telling you, seek the professional on that. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, we need to do all of the natural things to help keep us well. But when you are at a crisis like she was, then you have to get at it.
That's
okay.
Right. That's
now
true.
you have to work your way back from it, and then you start putting in your holistic things and your and building yourself up in that way. But when you are talking about you needed to learn how to pick up a fork and tie your shoes and walk again, Mom and them can't do that, y'all.
Brush your teeth. There was a gentleman. When I was actually in Burke, and I'll never forget him. Every day, he was an African American. He would wear basketball outfits, and during your rehab in the evening, they don't want you to walk around by yourself. So at night, you're supposed to stay in your room and not walk around or do any exercise. So he would get up at night because he said he was going home soon. And I saw him one night walking around the hall. So I looked out and I said, I said, you're going to get a red tie tomorrow. A red tie means they don't listen. So the next morning I saw him, they had him in the wheelchair, his arm, and he had a red tie. I said, they caught you, didn't they? But I used that to show how you have to be so diligent in wanting to get better.
And compliant.
And that meant, compliant. But I'll tell you, I'm telling you, he went home before I did. And, he listened, but we would compete with each other in terms of who was getting better.
Yes.
So I want to say you heard from Nicole Holland Dennis. And I want to say my journey where I am right now. And after the years that I went through rehab, I use it a little bit now for different things. Nicole is a client.
Wait a minute. I want you to hold that thought right there. I just want to say one thing, though. Heart disease and stroke is the number one cause of both death and disability in women in the United States. And as a Black woman, you have even a higher chance of dying from heart disease and at a younger age compared to white women, according to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. And how big of a problem is it, though? About 49% of African American women over age 20 have some type of heart disease. Now, some type of heart disease is classified as clogged arteries. What? Clogged arteries is considered heart disease, yes. Stroke, high blood pressure, and angina, which is just good old everyday chest pain, which you shouldn't be having, y'all. Okay, that means 1 in every 2 Black women in the United States has heart disease. I'm going to let that just sit. I'm going to sip my tea. Yep. 1 in every 2 Black women has or has had heart disease. Also, Black women are nearly twice as likely to have a stroke compared to white women, says the American Heart Association, as Beverly knows, because she's working with them.